we just ask in the interest of time, if you have a comment, that you keep it under 2 minutes. But if anybody has anything to say, if you can.
I would like to ask the gentleman from Egypt, do you have any comment about the U.S. response in terms of, when your revolution was going on? Do you have any thoughts about how the U.S. should have responded to it? What should we have done, if anything?
First of all, I'll be honored to be from Egypt. I'm Palestinian.
I'm sorry.
I think I cannot say much about what the U.S. should do until I see the U.S. representing the workers of the U.S. first. If there is, when a government becomes geared towards applying the benefit and the interest of corporations instead of the people, I don't think we have anything to rely on to help the people of Egypt or Palestine or anywhere else. They have to start here.
Yeah.
Marcus from Colorado Local 10, and as far as Wisconsin and Egypt, I think there's one thing our local on April 4th went out with totally ranked cloth action, and we really haven't had any support from the international. It was basically, and the DMA is suing us right now for it. But as far as we're doing a defense campaign around it, but as far as that, it was like we were the only local in the United States that went out in support of Wisconsin. And I think that it speaks to the point that's kind of like the main problem here. And in relationship to Egypt, I had heard from Carl Fenimore, who was the president of United IAM, Guyana Local, that was in United Airlines. He went over to Egypt, and he said that he felt that Egypt was a culmination of something like 3,000 basically wildcat strikes, most of which were won over a period of 3 years leading up to and that it was the same thing about like breaking with the bureaucrats. And I feel like that was a problem as far as Wisconsin, that that people aren't able to really break with the leadership of the unions, which they have a consolidated view of. They don't want rank and file action. They are opposed to it, and that's kind of like one of the main things that stood in the way of Wisconsin either going to a general strike, or also that the entire country going up and down. So maybe either or both the comment like Mondale, I don't know if you know as far as that the strike rate preceding the takeover.
So just a second real quick. Can people hear when people speak without a mic? Okay, so I'm actually going to make a line here because it's going to be hard to have we originally going to have a line here, but no, we thought that maybe we save time, but I'm going to have the mic over here. So if people can approach. But,
good morning.
Mark, and I think what we ought to do, I think the sign that was shown in the slides earlier, it's really important to start thinking of new ways, and first of which is breaking the barrier of fear. We must do that. We must equip the workers of the ability, or think of the ability that they have what it takes to break the status quo. And that's what happened in Egypt. In Egypt, it went from one strike to another, and people used to be marching in the streets for other issues that's not their own issues. There will be hundreds and thousands in the streets of Cairo marching for justice in Iraq, against the war, for justice in Gaza, and all against the intervention. But they will start the march, marching or chanting for Iraq or for Gaza, and ending talking about their own issues against Mubarak. And they took strikes one after another without any going to the fundamentals or to the establishment unions. And I think it's really, it's sad to say that the situation here is not much different, you know, because the bureaucrats are mainly making decisions for the workers, and they are really circumventing any process that's taken to a different level. Then they go back and say, well, let's work, like Hamad, maybe my sister here will talk more about what, I mean, who made the decision to say, let's wait for the recall? Why shouldn't we push forward, you know? And people in the 24th of January, nobody knew that they're gonna topple Mubarak, but people continue to do that, and then they reach a point where they would make a difference. There wasn't no figure or formal authority on the people telling them, no, let's stop, let's negotiate with Mubarak, let's do that. They will continue to do that. But I think that the traditional leadership needs to be changed. I mean, we cannot continue to do that here in the state.
I just want to make a comment too about the action that Local 10 did, and for those of you who passed resolutions in your labor councils and unions, it really meant a lot to people. People in Wisconsin heard about this stuff. They knew that people were out there supporting them. They went wild when they found out about the Local 10 strike, and so I just want to let people know that kind of stuff really made a difference and really was a shot in the arm for people there to know that they weren't alone. And I think it was interesting on April 4th because that was called as a day of action, right? And here, local ILWU goes on strike, and some teachers locked down the whatchamacallit bank, Wells Fargo, right? And in Wisconsin, we had a rally again, and so there was no direct action, there was no escalation, and so here people that were outside of Wisconsin are doing more radical actions. There was walkouts of students, I think, in Chicago, more radical actions were happening, so it was a sign of kind of the efforts to demobilize there. And really, this push towards the recall, which a lot of people were not participating in, turned into a manifestation of that, and unions putting 150% of their resources and staff into these recalls instead of organizing and building the fight, and instead of escalating and calling for Walker to resign. I mean, why wouldn't we take that step there? Hundreds of thousands of people in the streets. So yeah, but just for people to know that stuff actually it does make a difference, and they hear about it, and it makes a huge difference for them.
So just real quick, I'd just like people to keep in mind that we're trying to prioritize to make sure that who gets to speak are rank and file, women, people of color. So if you have something to say and you want to join the list, please do so. But at some point we might have to cut this off. And also, just in the interest of time, if someone has made your point, there's no need to come and repeat it. Thank you. So.
Hi, my name is Gene Pepe. I'm a retired member of the Amalgamated Transit Union, Local 1555. That's the Bay Area Rapid Transit District, and an active member of the National Riders Union, UAW. To follow up on what Marcus and what Pilar said, I've been circulating a resolution, sample resolution that you can take to your unions, community groups, church groups, whatever, to endorse the committee to defend ILWU Local 10. Sorry. Please check it out and contact us to see if we can help you take some action to defend Local 10. And I want to ask the brother from Egypt if he would take one and see if we can talk about getting some support from Egypt. Thank you for your time, and let's keep on keeping on. Hang tough, never give up.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Frank Lambert, retired Teamster truck driver. I've been on so many strikes, more than I have fingers on both hands, and all these anti-war demonstrations, which have led to nowhere. Wisconsin, the workers in Wisconsin had it right in the palm of their hand. All they had to do was shut down commerce in that state. Ohio, Indiana, New Jersey, and California would follow suit when the same thing happened to them. You get nothing without making a sacrifice in life. Nothing. Everything that we have now, whether it's the 8-hour workday, the weekend, health insurance, and everything, was hard fought for. You all know that. I'm preaching to the choir. But just to refresh your memories, the union leadership, the AFL, CIO, and Change to Win, have accomplished nothing. We are losing members left and right. My industry, hardly any more truckers or Teamsters. They're all non-union. And they want to make this a union-free country. Grover Norquist and his ilk. You have to shut down commerce. Nobody flies airplanes, nobody drives trucks, nobody picks the crops in the fields. You see what they're doing to these immigrants? They don't know how much power they have because crops are timely. They can't sit there dormant in the fields. We have to shut down commerce. The only people you keep working are like doctors, nurses, dentists, firefighters. You close down stores, factories, everything. Shut down the country until we get single-payer health care, pensions, guaranteed pensions, no 401ks, that's not a pension. Guaranteed defined pensions like I have right now. You have to make the sacrifice. We have to help each other with food, lodging, clothes, money, whatever. We're all brothers and sisters. An injury to one is an injury to all. Thank you.
My name is John Ryman. I'm an expelled member of the Carpenters Union. I was expelled for leading a wildcat strike, and I'm a member of the Industrial. The sister talked about the need to break with the corporate agenda. Well, a couple of weeks ago, Bob King, the president of the United Auto Workers, gave a speech before the Chamber of Commerce in Detroit, and he said that the UAW seeks and expects a partnership with the employers. He said, we embrace our own success, the successes of our employers, and he went on to say that he and the AFL-CIO leadership believe in working with management. And this is not, he didn't just speak in isolation, nor was this something new. But what we've seen over the last 50 years is a building wave of this sort of pro-corporate agenda throughout the entire labor movement, which is part of which that wave has been to suppress any voice of militancy or independence. So one thing I want to comment about Egypt is one thing that we've seen there is the building of this new union federation. And just as Egypt is part of a growing wave of workers' movement all around the world, that feature, we've also seen that in Venezuela, and I think we'll see that elsewhere. And when there's a rising movement of workers here in the United States, we will see the same feature. And incidentally, I want to say, it's very easy to get up and speak about the need to break with the corporate agenda here. But how about in your union offices every day? How about fighting to break for your own union, to break with that corporate agenda? I don't think you'll be working for that union very long if you really do that. So, I think that those are some important points in building a new federation means not just something in name only, but also breaking with the corporate agenda in deeds, not just in words. I see.